Hello, in this section, I'm going to talk about troubleshooting some of the basic errors that tend to occur repeatedly, most of which are due to typos. Right. So we're going to go back to this test setup that I've been running. And here I've deliberately introduced 3 typos into the data set, into the parameter file. And we're going to see how these affect the running. And I'm going to show you, based on the errors that crop up, where to look for the typo errors. All right, so we're going to start running the script as normal. And for the first part, everything's fine. So no errors so far. Okay, so we run this consistently check in parameters and we get an error. We can run it again and we'll still get the same error. And what you see here is that it's coming up with a message saying error, names in FCS file, FCS channel.label equals FCS.channel, not all true. So what it's trying to do here in this section is check that you have accurately typed out this information and it's consistent between the 3 sections that you have here. So the names of your channels here need to match exactly the name you have here and the name you have here. If not, this consistency check will fail, and also your downstream analysis would fail, which is why the consistency check is there in the first place. So if we look at this, we can see that I have a space here between 647 and floor and no space here. And if I look at this last one, I have a space here as well. So I need to put a space in here. So let's save that and then let's run the script from the beginning up to that point, which is the consistency check here. All right, so we have that error. We also have this error, FCS condition.label equals FCS condition not all true. So FCS condition and FCS condition label, you can see that I have blood wild type in lowercase here and blood wild type in uppercase here. So I can change this one to lowercase. Then that should match this. This one I have KO in lowercase and here I have it in uppercase. So I'll change this to lowercase. Now that should match. All right, so let's run this again. And you can see that I didn't look at this carefully enough, and I still have the error because I have actually a uppercase W here and a lowercase w here. All right, so let's try correcting that and then run this one more time. All right, so now no errors with the consistency checking part of the script. Now we're going to proceed with the next parts. All right, so now we have an error, and this looks like it's a big error because you can see all of this stuff is coming up as error messages. And so what we're trying to do is read in the flow files and match the parameter names in the flow, in the FCS files, these things, to the names that we've typed in our parameter file here. And you can see it's now handily giving us a list of what the actual names are in the FCS files. And we can have a look and see if we've typed them in correctly here. And this is the part that often catches you out based on whether you put in the space here, or a space here or not. That sort of stuff frequently catches people out. You can see that I have deleted this space here so that we would get this error. And now again, if I just put that space in there, we will have a problem with the consistency check in that I also have to put in the space here and here. So even though it was consistent between the three different parts here, it was not correct in terms of actually referring to what's in the FCS files. So let's save that, and then let's run the entire script again up to that point. All right, so that has fixed that error. This warnings thing, again, is about the transformation in the data, but it's not an actual error. All right, we're going to go ahead with the next section. Nothing obviously wrong. Nothing obviously wrong. All right, and this is the point where you can see that there is another error that was hiding in there. Because if you look at this flow event condition, you can see that we have 0 events in our blood wild type and blood amphiregulin knockout, where we have plenty of events in the other two. So then you need to think, well, okay, what's going on? Why don't I have events there? I know I checked in FlowJo that those files have data in them. And it's because this pattern, the string matching, is not correct. So if you look at the names of our actual files in our data folder, you can see that KO after amphiregulin should be capitalized. Similarly, wild type, both letters are capitalized, not lowercase t. If you do not have an exact match, it's not going to pick it up, and you're going to get 0 files that match this. So it is case sensitive. So we need to change that here. We also need to change it here so that it's consistent. All right, so we've saved that. Let's run that again up to that point. And you can see now we have plenty of events in our blood samples. And now we have corrected the 3 errors that I introduced into the parameter file to generate the types of errors that you get through typos. And that's going to conclude this part of the presentation, and we'll then look at other problems arising from FlowJo in the next one.